This universe is only one of an infinite number. Mr. Strange.
Who are you in this vast multiverse? Stephen Strange, your reckoning is long overdue.
Welcome back, everyone. This will be my brand new Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer video. There's a bunch of new footage and Easter eggs and references, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, we're doing a giveaway for IMAX tickets for the movie. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and just leave your favorite moment from the trailer on the video. Everybody just getting really hyped up to see this variant of Scarlet Witch just go completely ham on the entire multiverse Illuminati. Like, R.I.P. Superior Iron Man, R.I.P. this variant of Professor X.
You thought I was asleep, didn't you? Acting.
Thank you very much for coming back, Patrick Stewart, though, and whoever winds up playing this alternate version of Iron Man that it seems like. Also, thanks to some of the newer trailers, we have a much clearer, much sharper HD version of this scene of him in the Illuminati's main chamber, so I think we got a much better look at who some of these members are. But one of the coolest things during this new trailer is seeing Scarlet Witch just go completely crazy on this alternate version of Iron Man and his version of the Iron Legion that look kind of like versions of Ultron robots. I did a big video about Superior Iron Man a little while ago, so I'll link it below in the description. But what it seems like is going on with these Ultron robots during the trailer, like they have the yellow eyes, so people have asked lots of questions about the Infinity Stones, because obviously all these versions of the Illuminati characters are from alternate realities, so things would have gone down differently in the universes that they came from. If this alternate version of the Iron Legion that looks more like Ultron tech comes from a universe where the Infinity Stones are still whole, they haven't been dusted by their version of Thanos, it would actually be really cool. There are a lot of you that also asked me Jocasta questions when talking about these Ultron robots. If you're not a big comic book reader, Jocasta is just another AI that Iron Man winds up using. There was an Easter egg for her when Iron Man was creating his new AI to use with his suit and wound up using Friday instead of the others.
Good evening, boss.
One of them was Jocasta. She's like another female AI that's a derivative of Ultron during the big Ultron storyline in the comics. As far as we know, nobody in the MCU movies up to Marvel Phase 4 has used her as a character so far, and it just sounds like they're using Doctor Strange 2 to try out all these really weird deep cuts from the comics that they haven't tried yet, using these alternate versions of characters. This variant of Scarlet Witch looks like she's walking into this chamber of the Illuminati's building, crushing this Ultron head. You see all the oil spilling out of it. So that explains how the movie's still PG-13, but it looks like she's covered in blood, because I think the whole idea is that they're using them in the movie as a sort of cannon fodder for her, and the blood all over her is actually just oil from them. If you ever wondered why there's so many CG characters in movies like this, it's because of situations like this. Like, they want to show a version of Scarlet Witch just completely going crazy with her chaos magic to show you how really powerful she could possibly get, and have her kill a bunch of really big, really powerful characters. But if you saw her popping a bunch of real people's heads and you saw blood all over the place, the movie would be rated R, so they have to have her do that to a bunch of CG characters, which is where the Iron Legion comes in. It looks like she's using her chaos magic to go full supernova, just completely destroying this base. So we'll see if any of these multiverse Illuminati wind up escaping this situation, but that's one of the reasons why I think they're using so many of these as variants. Like, Professor X Patrick Stewart isn't the original one from the X-Men movies. Obviously, whichever version of Iron Man created this version of the Iron Legion Ultron robots is not going to be the one from the MCU, played by Robert Downey Jr. That was actually one of the reasons why they cremated his body, I think, just so that fans wouldn't be like, oh, his body's still there, somebody could revive him. But because it is comic books we're talking about, there still are really crazy ways to explain how people could bring Iron Man back in the MCU, like downloading a version of his consciousness, but obviously they're just gonna wait a long time before they do anything with MCU Iron Man. One of the other beauties of doing variants of characters is that you can do darker, crazier versions that you would never consider doing with your regular characters. That's really where Sinister Strange comes in, and then this Marvel Zombies version of Defender Strange. Like, they don't want to completely throw MCU Doctor Strange under the bus, so they're doing it with a lot of these variants. Same thing with MCU Scarlet Witch. As crazy as she gets during the movie, it's going to be some of these other versions of characters that go way crazier. But if you zoom and enhance inside this Illuminati chamber here, whatever's going on in this trailer, it just seems like they polished the special effects. It's just a little bit sharper. If you zoom and enhance on the character to the left of him here sitting down, now it seems like this is a version of Reed Richards from the original Fantastic Four movies, because notice how the bright part of his costume is just localized to this circular part on the right. This looks very much like where the Fantastic Four symbol from those versions of the costumes were.
I love these costumes. They're missing something though, right? It's like spice.
They're not costumes.
And if you look at the size and shape of his arms, his shoulders, relative to the rest of his body, it looks kind of like he skipped arm day at the gym. Maybe because it's Reed Richards, he is a bit of a bookworm, and his special powers just make him look like that. Previously, I thought that it could be a Black Panther variant because the brightness was just a little bit more blurred and it looked like it covered his entire neck. And that's what a variant of Black Panther would look like. The necklace that he wears around his neck would be a little bit different depending on the variant, but it would cover his entire neck nonetheless. And this one looks like it just covers one part of his chest. Because we're talking about multiverse council of really powerful characters coming together like the Illuminati during this, and they do call them the Illuminati in the promo materials, a lot of you now also asking about the Council of Reeds and the Council of Kangs. Now the Council of Kangs, they actually did mention in the MCU, so they are canon.
They share technology and knowledge, using the best of their universes to improve the others.
During the Loki series, when He Who Remains was explaining the origin of his own timeline and how he learned about the multiverse and started working with other versions of himself from other universes, that was basically him talking about a version of the Council of Kangs from the comics. It's the same basic idea as the Council of Reeds, just a whole bunch of Kangs, not every version, but a bunch of versions coming together to work together. I do Rick and Morty videos for all the episodes. On Rick and Morty, the Council of Ricks is also based on the Council of Reeds. It's meant to be a big reference to that.
They built a wall around infinity. They separated all the infinite universes from all the infinite universes where he's the smartest man in the universe.
The big difference between the Council of Kangs and the Council of Reeds, though, even though they do kind of the same thing, is that Kang the Conqueror is inherently viewed as a much darker character, so his version of the Multiverse Council just devolves into war and fighting, and that's where you get to the Multiverse Kang War that they talked about during the Loki series. Even if the Council of Reeds had a disagreement about something and some of the versions would be darker than others, you wouldn't expect the Council of Reeds to devolve into a giant multiverse war with each of them trying to erase each other's universes. The other thing about this trailer is they're trying to be very misleading about it too, because you have Baron Mordo's voiceover in the trailer saying the greatest threat to our reality is you, and what they do is they intercut that voiceover with the switch between all the different versions and make you think that the villain of the movie is all the variants, and technically that's true, but some of the versions are more evil, more villainous than the others. And really, at the end of the day, the whole movie is about our MCU Scarlet Witch trying to find a version of Billy and Tommy. So even though it seems like this alternate version of Scarlet Witch tries to kill MCU Doctor Strange and this entire council of multiverse variants, it's still really MCU Scarlet Witch that's trying to push this in a very particular direction. So technically, I would view her as one of the main antagonists. It's like Captain America Civil War. Like, even though you understand where all the different sides come from, some characters seem worse than others, like Baron Zemo, Dancing Zemo, really the villain of that situation. We'll see who ultimately winds up feeling like the Dancing Zemo at the end of Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. Or is it going to be like a Wandavision situation where they say that Grief is the technical main villain? Or is it going to be a huge cosmic villain like Nightmare, like a villain you could actually reach out and punch if you tried? There's also a couple brand new scenes of Defender Strange during this too. Not just Marvel Zombies' version of Defender Strange, like after he turns into a zombie, but before he turns into a zombie. So in this one scene, you see Doctor Strange visiting a bunch of other realities. It seems like he visits Defender Strange's reality where everything is lush and green, like it's a very idealized version of our MCU universe. You see that they've changed the trailer just a little bit because this is an old shot, but they've changed what his magic looks like. It looks white now, like the white magic of the avatars and the gods that we saw on Moon Knight. And the look that he's giving America Chavez seems like a last-ditch kind of look, like get out of here as fast as you can. There's no saving this situation. And he's trying to hold back this chaos magic creature that does look like it winds up getting her. I'm guessing that he winds up failing, and whatever happens is what turns him into that Marvel zombie, like why his body gets perverted and he goes full evil. I'm guessing one of the reasons why they're using the white magic is just so that you can tell them apart on screen a little bit better and to show you how he's so much more powerful than MCU Doctor Strange is right now, so that when he turns into a Marvel zombie and goes full evil, he feels like even more of a threat. Best example of that is the What If episode with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange Supreme completely borking his entire universe because he was trying to override a fixed point in time, which is kind of like their version of a nexus point. But everyone, post all your theories in the comments below. If you have any questions about these other members of this multiverse Illuminati team, just post them in the comments below too. Hopefully we'll get some more clues about some of the other members of the team. We have a pretty good idea who's on the team, but there's still a couple questions. I'll name a giveaway winner the next time I post a big Marvel video. I'm also working on a Moon Knight Kang the Conqueror video that should post in the next few days too. Everyone click here for my Moon Knight Episode 4 trailer video, and click here for my full Moon Knight Episode 3 video and Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.